All right, a bunch of Godzilla Final Wars deleted scenes have been released. I believe this is through the Japan-only Blu-ray that they recently dropped. It is in 4K. Seeing some of these are just like mind-blowing because for a long time they were lost media. They were not made available on any physical copies, and they weren't anywhere online until now. So we're going to go through all of them. Big props to Rick the Squirrel for posting all of these on Twitter. You could follow his YouTube channel and Twitter account in the description. Go and look for that if you want to go support him. Really quick, I just want to announce that I will be attending G-Fest in Rosemont, Illinois on Sunday, July 13th. If you're planning to go, feel free to say hi. This will be my second time at G-Fest as a creator, and I'll be walking around most of the day checking out the panels and vendor booths. If you see me, don't be afraid to come up and say hi. Hope to see you there. So first up, we have this very rough cut version of the Godzilla vs. Zilla fight scene. It's nothing much. You really just get like an alternative angle of Godzilla roaring, and that's about it. It's very choppy. I almost wonder if they did this because they were like, let's make the fight scene even shorter. I don't know. But very much prefer the original version in the film, not this. This is almost too difficult to even see what's going on. Up next is a very controversial one. I remember hearing about this as a kid, but not knowing if it was actually real, because it does sound almost like creepypasta type stuff, but it is real. So there's an original version of the scene where Godzilla actually kills Anguirus, Rodan, and King Caesar. And in the original film, in case you're having a bit of a hard time remembering what happens, Godzilla actually spares them because he is their friend. And so in this deleted scene, he blows them up with his atomic breath. And I'm glad that they didn't actually include that in the film. I'm glad that they kept it where he spares them, because it would have been a bit too brutal to see him literally kill 3 of his closest allies. Now, the effect in the film isn't actually finished. You just kind of see his mouth start to light up with the built-in light system that they had, and that's it. Alright, so this one is very interesting to me. This is set in Sydney during the Zilla attack. And as a kid, I always thought it was weird how Zilla randomly just goes after these 2 guys who I thought were supposed to be like punk rockers. And I wasn't exactly sure what the exact context was, where I was like, why are we just showing these random guys for no reason? And why is one of them like, you know, saying, oh, Benji, like it's like one of them has a name. It was just, it always felt really weird and out of place. Well, it turns out they were part of a bigger scene before that. They were trying to carjack this vehicle, and then they end up getting attacked by Zilla as a result. And it's a great scene. I like it. The acting's kind of bad, but that's kind of Final Wars in general with all the extras. So it's one of those where it's like, I wish we had more of this. I really do. I think that it works really well. I love the shot of all the people running across the street, like away from Zilla, in almost like single file line. It's so goofy, and I wish this was in. I wish this was in the final cut. It's so good. Now, this also shows that they survived, because I remember in the theatrical, or you know, like the actual version of the film, the camera cuts right before it looks like Zilla's about to eat them, and here the Exilians actually save these 2 carjackers right before they get killed, which I think is pretty cool. I'm a fan of that. I wish that they would have just kept this in. I don't care how much longer it would have made the movie. I think it would have made it better. I really do. This is another sort of like, here's a random human from one of the scenes that's like an extra that actually survived, and it was the drunk guy in New York City when Rodan attacks. It turns out that he survives, and he actually took the pimp's like jacket, or like, you know, like coat or whatever, and he had the hat, which I think was really great. Kind of a stupid character moment. Like, it's stupid but fun, like the rest of Final Wars, so I wouldn't have been too pressed if they, you know, actually included this. But yeah, it's kind of a whatever deleted scene, but it's neat seeing that he actually survived this encounter. It's kind of fun. Now here's one that I actually don't know if I love or hate. I don't know. So here's the thing. This is the Kumonga introduction sequence, and in the original version of the film, We see this guy, watching TV, and it cuts the static, and he's like, "Oh, come on, man!" And then all of a sudden, Kumonga comes by, destroys his trailer, right? And it's a fine scene. Does seem kind of out of nowhere that he would just, we'd introduce this character for like a few seconds and then immediately kill him. But this version actually extends it out, and we see that he is about to eat a pizza right when he goes, "Come on, man." And there's a spider on the pizza. He drops the pizza, and right before he steps on the spider, Kumonga comes and kills him. The acting is terrible. It's funny.
You screwed my pizza!
Yeah, I don't know. I wish that... See, here's the thing. The original version of the scene is so, like, quick. It maybe lasts about 10 seconds. And it's just sort of like, all right, whatever. It's over before it even started. And I wish that it was longer, but this is just, like, the acting is terrible. I really don't know what to think about it. So, yeah, let me know what you think, because this is just bizarre.
You screwed my pizza!
All right, so now I want to talk a little bit about a deleted scene that was not included that I wish was. And that is Godzilla versus Ebirah and Hedorah in this sort of extended sequence. Now, in the original film, Godzilla and Hedorah and Ebirah very, very briefly fight. Godzilla just sort of shoots his atomic breath off, and it pushes them back, and they blow up and die. That's it. There's really not much to the actual fight, which, as a kid, I was super disappointed by because I loved Hedorah. I thought that Hedorah was just such an awesome monster. And yeah, he's just sort of one and done here almost immediately, and we get very little destruction even with Hedorah. So I remember being like, oh, there's a deleted scene, and in the credits you actually kind of see it, but it's more of an outtake. And apparently it is still lost media, but it's also kind of like media that never really existed in the first place. So the gist is that they didn't film this fight scene that was extended. And it's a bit of a game of telephone where it's like the longer that people would talk about it, the more distorted it got. The producer of the film never actually let them film this fight scene, so they just had outtakes of them sort of like, I guess, choreographing what would have been the fight. It's really bizarre, and I wish I could just see that full sort of like outtake just to get some sense of closure from it. Now, this was not included with the Blu-ray, but we do get some very high-res pictures of Hedorah and this scene in general in the Final Wars Blu-ray, so that's pretty cool. I just wish that, we get more supplementary material like this with more films. But I do know that Final Wars had a ton of deleted scenes, and so it's cool to finally have access to these after all these years. After, God, it'd be 21 years now, because Final Wars came out 21 years ago. I was 2 years old when that movie came out, which is just bonkers to think about. But I think I watched that movie more than any other Godzilla movie as a kid. I really do. It was so much fun. It's action-packed. I can't wait to talk about it in my retrospective, so I'll try to kind of wind it down a bit, because there's a lot I have to say. I really do. I love it. So with all that out of the way, let me know what you think down below in the comments. What was your favorite deleted scene? Are there any that you've heard about over the years that you wish were included, like the Godzilla versus Hedorah and Ebirah extended fight? Let me know down below in the comments, because I would love to hear. Thanks again to Rick the Squirrel for supplying all these clips. And again, his Twitter and YouTube are linked down below in the description. And as always, I want to say thank you to our channel members. Their names are listed on screen, either here or here, wherever I decide to put them. And there's going to be a video here on the end screen that you can check out. I might put the Godzilla Lost Media video on there, because I think a lot of you would really enjoy that if you dig this. Anyways, I just wanted to say, I'm Cole McCormick. You're watching Firewood Media. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.